Hello and welcome to another episode of She Will Empower. I'm your host, Jessica Cherry. I am here to help you live in empowerment energy, to have the confidence you need to live the life you want, and to realize that you can go after your goals and your dreams. It is my obsession to help you so that you can live your life at your highest potential. So let's enjoy this time together and let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode. I want to piggyback on the last episode where I talked about habits and the mid-year point and self-discipline because I've fallen off the bandwagon a couple of times personally because I'm human and I take care of other humans and family and running businesses and the list goes on and on and on. And I'm not making excuses, but I mean, that's life, right? I want to preface this episode by saying there's no judgment here. I've been in it many times myself. We have all the unexpected happen to us from time to time. And we have to practice self discipline in order to achieve the goals we want and not get stuck in the mud. And sometimes, if we are even not stuck in the mud, we have converted back to our old habits. Some of those old habits are not in our best interest and can even be self destructive and the opposite of going towards our goals. I always want to be, real on this episode. So if I'm going through it or I have gone through it recently, I'm definitely going to make a show about it. So that's why today I want to focus on self discipline and talking about creating positive, impactful habits because those habits are instrumental in achieving our goals. We don't wake up one morning and say, for example, I want to run a 10-mile marathon today. Okay, I'm running a 10-mile marathon today. Well, not me at least, I'll die. We start by first walking and then maybe walking a half a mile and then a little more and a little more. And building these habits and applying them is what works, right? But all the same, knowing this fact doesn't make it any easier to stick with it and see it out to the other end. As humans, we are programmed to go down the path of safety and security and least resistance. We are programmed from our caveman days to conserve our energy in case we're going to go and be chased by a hungry mountain lion. And we just love the comfort zone, right? We also, as humans, love instant gratification. And for the most part, as humans, we don't want to work for it. So we have to consciously make it a decision to work for it, right? We have to make that conscious choice post caveman days, post caveman brains to work for a goal. Look up the law of least resistance. To sum it up, an organism will choose a course of action that appears to require the smallest amount of effort or expenditure or energy. So that is what we are programmed to. And so reaching our goals, we have to consciously make an effort for that. So knowing it's half the battle, right? We know we are pre-wired for the path of least resistance to live in the comfort zone and all its, ooey gooey loveliness. But we as humans have evolved and now we need money, we need jobs, we need to pay our bills, advance in life, and we are not stuck in the caveman days anymore. We want that motivation now. We want that inspiration and we want to see how we can take action, necessary action to achieve what we want out of our life because those days of going to hunt for food in the field or mountains for our survival, those are basically over unless we choose to, but we don't need to, right? We have grocery stores and cars and, advanced medicine. We have all that now. But here's the kicker, and here's where reality really comes in. We cannot live off inspiration and motivation alone. While those are necessary and amazing feelings and states of being, we need self discipline to get us from point A to point B. And the key to it all is the self discipline we put on ourselves, right? It's the driving factor. So when we think about self discipline, many of us cringe. We're like, why would I want to self discipline myself? Discipline sounds hideous, it sounds so bad. I don't want to do that to myself. But here's the thing, it's actually the opposite. Self-discipline is a form of self-love. It is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Stop with the instant gratification, the low-hanging fruit, and go for something bigger. Live the life that you want to dream about. Why not, right? Why not live that life you want to dream about and put it actually into real life. You only have one shot at this life in this human body. Go live it before you can't anymore, before it's too late. We're not ever guaranteed tomorrow. We're not even guaranteed today. I mean, anything can happen to us, right? So just don't live in the I shoulda, woulda, coulda, I want to, but this, that, and the other. Stop putting those roadblocks on yourself. Those roadblocks are going to manifest into regret later on. Okay. All the greats in life, everyone that you can think of that has truly hit their high point and have kept it up, right? Have self-discipline and form those healthy habits that take them every day a step closer and closer and closer to reaching their goals. It's not because of a one-time thing they did 5 years ago, okay? Or however long ago. They kept at it and they kept being in the game and they kept them successful. They work on themselves every day, not just one time. Even just a small step in the right direction is still a path in the right direction. So successful people do this. They just work on themselves every day, even if it's just a little bit. For example, many of us put our needs last. Personally speaking, I can be really bad about this myself because I'm taking care of the home, the kids, the work, just all these other responsibilities in my life. And I feel sometimes like the circus juggler with my daily responsibilities. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, just like many of us parents do, right? Because, kids or even a partner that we adore and we love so much, we want to make sure that they're taken care of and they're happy. Like with my kids, I want to make sure that all of their needs are met, that they are living a loving life and living a fulfilled life. And it can be so easy to disregard those needs for myself. I mean, it's so easy. We just get caught up in the moment and we have everybody else's needs first and our needs are last. And there you go. It's the end of the day. And there goes another day that's wasted. And I don't want you to be like that. I really want you to put your needs first or put them just out there as well. Your needs are just as important as everybody else's needs. And isn't it crazy how we do that? I know I'm not the only one in this. I know many of us are so guilty of it. And before I became a mom, I would always see many of my friends who got so lost in this life, mom life. They have just let themselves go, whether it's emotional needs or physical needs or their desires, their dreams. They have just let it go like a balloon in the wind, And I was always that single friend with no kids thinking, how did they do that to themselves? How did they forget about themselves so easily? Oh, and now I know very easily, Jessica. It is so easily to fall in that rabbit hole and take care of everybody else. And by the end of the day, your needs are not met and it's rinse, wash, and repeat, right? It's the next day coming and it's the next thing. So back to self-discipline. It's all about loving yourself. Would you allow your kids to eat junk food all day, every day? Or would you allow your good friend or partner to fall into some sort of self-depression without checking in on them, seeing what you can do to help them out? No, right? You have to treat yourself in the same way you would want other people to treat themselves. You have to put yourself first or just in the vicinity of around first, right? You have to start talking to yourself and saying, I love myself so much and too much to let myself fall into that place, or I love myself too much to do that to myself, or no, I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm setting the standards for myself and I love myself enough and I'm going to stick to these goals. Is it easy? No. It's hard. You can fall off the horse, 10 times, but you pick yourself up 11, Think of the situation you're in from a third party, outside perspective, and ask yourself if you would stand back and allow your loved one to treat themselves like that. And if the answer is no, then set that intention for yourself too. You deserve the same kind of love that you give others, right? You deserve the same kind of love that you give to others. You yourself deserve it too. So the second thing I want to talk about is inspired action, taking that inspired action in regards to being strategic and striving for that abundance in your life, however you want to manifest it, right? Abundance is always there for us. It's in its purest form. You have to understand it is always present. We are the ones as humans that create our own limitations. And what I've seen so many times is people letting go of their dreams because they think that they can't achieve them. And it hurts so bad because I know you can achieve your dreams if you just want them bad enough. They put their own roadblocks in their path. They say, I'm too old for this. I'm too dumb, or I'm too this, I'm too that. I know you've heard people say that. Maybe even you've heard yourself saying that. And I hate hearing this so much because I think subconsciously, so many of us think that we just don't deserve these things or that these things are not meant for us. So people stay in their toxic workplaces, those bad relationships or friendships that don't serve them anymore, don't serve you or me anymore. And they stay in those situations where they don't break free and they don't go after what they truly desire and take that inspired, actionable steps so that they can get from point A to point B, achieve their goals, check them off their list, move on, and be happy with their lives. If this resonates with you in the slightest way, it is time to remove the blockages from your pathway. Really come to the realization that you deserve the happiness and fulfillment, and you deserve all the blessings in life. You truly do. You are totally worthy of receiving this abundant life. Life has so much to offer you, and you truly need to believe that in your core, in your gut. You truly have to believe that you are worthy of receiving. Remember, sincerely, to be your own very best friend. Would you want your bestie to do the best they can for themselves? To eat right, to get enough sleep, move their bodies, surround themselves with people that love and support them? The answer, yes, right? You would want your best friend to make those best choices for themselves. It is time to make sure you are doing that for yourselves, okay? It's time. Do it for yourself. And on a side note of all of this, if you have kids like me, these kids are watching you. They are soaking up everything you're doing, everything that you say to yourself about yourself. These little sponges will end up treating themselves the way you treat yourselves. They are learning how to treat themselves by watching you. I'll give you an example. So I've won Blogger of the Year for Austin Businesswoman twice, right? And so I say these things to my husband. I'm like, oh, I won Blogger of the Year. I need to keep this up, or I want to get Blogger of the Year again. And I've won it twice, but of course I want to win it again, right? My kindergartner, they asked her what she wanted to be. And at her kindergarten graduation ceremony, she said, I want to be Blogger of the Year. Seriously. She was the only one in the entire school that, of course, had that title. I want to be Blogger of the Year. People were saying firefighter, teacher, whatever. But that goes to show you how truly our kids are listening to us and watching us. And even if you don't have kids, your peers, your friends, your family, your coworkers, whomever you share your space and your energy with, they will see these shifts on how you take care of yourself and how you do things for yourself, and they will see you in a new, different light. I'm sure you've seen this shift in other people before, where that person has personally just reached their tipping point and they start doing things for their own good. Maybe they got serious about their health, or finally registered for school, or went after that job, or got out of the toxic situation, whatever it is. I'm sure you've seen positive shifts in people before, and it's time to put yourself on that pedestal. You deserve it. Okay, so third thing I want to talk about here is the law of attraction. To attract all these amazing things in life, you first have to feel worthy and deserving of them. You have to feel like these things that you want to manifest are already yours. And actually, in real life, feel these things. Feel in your heart that the happiness you would feel with these things, you feel them now. That is the biggest obstacle so many people have. It's such a big blockage, and people don't get that out of the way. They keep that blockage in there. They have that lack between them and what they want. They're not in alignment with what they want and what they want to manifest in their life. They have that distance. Stop with the distance. You have to feel worthy of the things that you want in your life. Do not focus on the lack of them, because based on the law of attraction, if you focus on the lack, guess what you get more of? You get more of the lack. You get more of lacking. You get more of wanting. By walking like you are in it, like you're already having it, okay? You are already being it, this person that you want to be or become. Act like that person already. And here's the thing. Do not let how you feel about yourself be dictated or altered by anyone else. This is your journey. You are the captain. You are the driver. You are in control. Do not allow your happiness to be dictated and dependent on how others treat you. You cannot go through your day dependent on how good you feel based on how many likes you get on an Instagram post, or if you got a compliment today, or if someone recognized you at work, or any outside influence. You need to be shining from within you, and other people's opinions are like water off a duck's back, okay? And just roll off of you. Because here's the thing. If your happiness is reliant on how others treat you, you will be stuck on your happiness being at the mercy of what other people think about you, and that dependent energy will not manifest true happiness from within. You have to be in control of your happiness and your fulfillment. People are flaky. People can be kind to you one day and mean to you the next. And if you develop this attitude of where I don't care what you think about me, your opinions only affect you and your world, you have no power over mine, then that is where you control your own power and where the real magic happens. So having that self-discipline and taking that inspired action can really get you going down an amazing path to success. You are the guac, baby. You are. Demand it, live it, be it, walk like it, all of it, girl. You are the guac. Okay, number 4, I want you to raise your standards. I want you to make an I-do list and commit to it. Put that list on your vision board and commit to completing those things for yourself. I want you to be clear about what you want, what doesn't serve you, and I want you to write down actionable steps on how you're going to get there on every single one of those items on your list. Like for me this year, what I have kept up with is going back and refocusing on my personal health. I was allowing myself to stress eat, and I wasn't paying attention to the weight I was gaining until I was seeing myself in pictures and my clothes didn't fit in anymore when they were coming in. So I put that as one of my targets and my action items, and I really committed myself to them. And in the last 5 months, I've lost 25 pounds. And I look back and I'm like, why did I let myself get like that? Why didn't I do this sooner? And we can beat ourselves up with the self-sabotaging questions, or we can just pick ourselves up and choose to do that from where we are and start at that point of where we're at, right? I want to be able to feel good in my body, to be healthy, and to be able to keep up with my kids. And I knew that I had to stop ignoring myself and my body. And that decision isn't selfish, right? To love myself and to make my physical needs a priority is not selfish. So that was my tipping point. It was that thought of, they are watching me. I know they're watching me, and I want to be around a really, really long time for them. And I had to show that I love myself, and my physical body is extension of the self-love to myself and the self-discipline. So what is it for you? What area of life are you at the tipping point, and what are you wanting to change for the better? Self-discipline is really honestly self-love. And once you truly start to believe this and take action on this, your life will begin to change in ways that you have been so stagnant for, and you will feel so much better. And those around you will see the changes too. The 5th thing I want to talk about is books. I am such a passionate person about books. I want to talk to you about a book that changed my life, truly, truly changed my life. It was the first book I read that set me on this self path. I'm reading it again right now. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. Oh my God. That book is what truly started me on my self-discovery of self-healing, changing my limiting beliefs, changing my thought patterns, my bad habits, just everything. It was during the pandemic. It was at the very beginning of the pandemic. I was having massive panic attacks. I had really low self-esteem. I had a lot of anxiety. Totally recommend this book. I want to start a book club where we just read a book every month. So if you have a book that you love, let me know in the comments and I'll check it out. And if you haven't read this book, this one that I'm talking about, I'll put it in the show notes. It is seriously a game changer. He truly breaks down how we get into patterns in the brain and lays out how to get out of the funk, the thought patterns, and everything else that you're in and that you want to change. Let me know in the comments if you're reading books with me. Reading books has definitely been a serious game changer for me, and it's something I truly enjoy. And reading is also good for your brain health, right? It's what keeps you learning and growing. And ever since we're little, we have been taught, reading is fundamental. It's good for you. So if you're into this, let me know. I just wanted to give that little tidbit out there, put that out there and see who's willing to go on this journey with me with reading books. Okay, what are we on? Number 6? Another thing that successful self-disciplined people do is that they are constantly working on bettering themselves and focusing on self-improvement. I see so many successful people that I admire practice this morning ritual. They do a ton of visualizations, they meditate, they're consistently self improving. They really do have a plan and are in alignment with that plan. I have been really focused on leveling up my circle, who my influences are, who I listen to, what podcasts I listen to, and everyone that is successful that I admire does this. And it's no coincidence. Successful people work on themselves on a consistent basis, and their hard work pays off. It really does. They work on their short-term goals, their long-term goals, their actions. They know what actions they're going to take, they know what steps they're going to take, and making their dreams a reality is something that they're going to do. They are in tune with it and they make things happen. 7, successful people know that health is wealth. Period. And they take care of their bodies. They move their physical bodies because let's face reality here. If you don't have health, you don't have anything else. Nothing else matters. I know personally, when I get sick, everything else doesn't matter. Everything stops. I need to focus on getting better. That is what happens when I get sick. Even though I'm a mom and I take care of everything, when I get sick, things stop because I need to have a healthy body to take care of the things I need to take care of. And we can level this up. We can go for a daily walk, we can go to the gym, but we have to have something where we are physically moving our limbs and stretching our muscles and eating right because it's all for a good cause, right? I mean, health is wealth, and it just is. We have to try to live that. Successful people live that. So be aware of yourself and what you want to improve and what goals you want to set and how you want to get there. Baby steps are fine too, right? It doesn't have to be some major, big old leapfrog. Forward is forward. And then be focused, take actionable steps to get there, and make a list. And last, make this all a habit where you are consistent, automatic, and repetitious. So let me know what you think about this episode in the comments section. You can also find me on social media under She Will Empower, and you can also share this episode with people who have the same question and help a friend out. And as always, if you love this episode or others, please leave me a 5-star review and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing day. And also, please feel free to send an episode topic. I am open to it. Thank you so much again for listening to today's episode. I love, appreciate, and I'm so grateful to you. And I cannot wait to connect with you on the next episode. In the meantime, go out there, empower yourself, and live in your best life at your highest potential. Okay, bye.